We continue things on. North took the lead on Train. It was rather impressive. In fact, they lost both pistols, held on, took the lead, and carry that now over to Dust2, where they're one map in hand. This decides the last playoff spot.
Yeah, so now we get to the real crunch time of the tournament. All day today have been decided matches, teams going home and teams progressing. So it's been a day of heartbreak for some and elation for others. But right now for FaZe, it's them struggling with the idea of playing slow Counter-Strike. It doesn't seem to be something that is up their alley by any means.
I want a massage.
I think you can get one at the hotel.
I plan on it.
Tomorrow's a free day, so maybe you can grab
open till
one or
2 a.m. Might do it tonight.
Wow, that's a pretty good length of time to have a massage parlor open.
A legitimate massage parlor open. Some of them are open those hours normally.
I don't know what you're talking about, but we will get the knife round to get this one underway here to make sure that teams can decide where they want to start. A couple of the themes that we've noticed, at least from the FaZe clan side of things, because that's where I guess the issues have been, right? So we might just stick with them. They beat Renegades on Dust2, but what they did on their T side, they realized Renegades' default CT hold was leaving Catwalk. Oh. That's not the way you want to start a knife.
No, they actually matter.
It's a love tap. It is a bit of a love tap right there. So, well, they've TK'd. So they've made it back. Guardians actually killed Olaf nicely. So everybody is stabbing their teammates in the back quite literally here today. Rain and Adren, they'll get the job done. FaZe will get to decide where they want to start, whether the T side or the CT side. We'll see them switching on over towards that CT side. But on their T side, one thing to note was they did a really good job of taking mid-territory very quickly. Rain would just barrel all the way down. He would posture and cover off the CT spawn rotation coming in. They get catwalk control very quickly. On their CT side, a few bits and pieces to note. In the early stages, after they were able to convert pistol, I believe, they did a 3-man B lane. So they had 3 players over towards that B side of the map. They also were doing long stacks against the Renegades' long rushes, having 4 players there to shut that down, and Dren stepping up with some very massive anchor kills towards that pit position. So here we go. We're about to get this one underway. The buys are coming in. AZ P250, he seems to be enjoying that on the pistol round. Smoke and a flash. Cadian, he's going to have a smoke and a flash as well. And considering he has no money left in the bank, I'm going to say he's dropped another P250 across to one of his teammates. Yes, indeed he has. So he's going to smoke off Xbox right there. We're going to see just a standard CT hold come out. 2 players over towards long to cover this off. And it will be a late long pounce. It's just an A-split. Nice and simple. The classic.
Simple indeed. But Adren is trying to find shots to shut it down. He won't. Nico needs to do the same. They both come up short. And up short is Cade. He's already on the bomb side. He'll take down Olaf Meister. So Valda and he with all the kills so far as Cade reverse hold on Catwalk. Cuts off Guardian on rotation and Rain falls next. 1-0 North. Their first pistol.
Did you read into much about the new coach for North?
No, I did not.
Yeah, so
I did have a chance to...
we were joking with him about ice cream yesterday.
Were you?
Yeah.
It's Mither, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I met him the day that he pretty much... So at GGBet Ice Challenge in London...
Yes.
He was announced the day before, and then he was there. Presumably, he'd been working with the team for a few days before the announcement.
He hit Olaf too, though, so it's okay.
Yeah, just great timing. Presumably, he'd been working with him for a few days before he was announced. But yeah, he was like new on the job. So carry on.
Yeah, he was.
He's obviously with them now for a while.
He was teaching Counter-Strike in high schools.
Ah, yeah, that's right, because Denmark has that whole program.
Yeah, there's a lot of backstory about him. So he is a coach with actual teaching experience. He's dealing with youngsters here, so maybe that has some impact.
Well, this might be the most immature classroom he's had yet.
You and I?
I'm just kidding. Oh, no, I meant North. I was just...
I was going to say, maybe you and I, yeah, for sure. These guys seem like they take everything quite seriously. But there's only a minute and 10 seconds left on the clock. Damage has been done. The lion's share spread between Katie and Guardian, Olaf and Valder. So 2 players on each team respectively have been tagged. Valder by a teammate. So now they're going to walk out middle here. The bomb is actually on the back of Gade. If they get dropped, which luckily we can see with the radar that there's no dangers too close up to the catwalk, things might get dicey, but will be meant to be played. Now we've had a little bit of an exchange of information, grenades, and bullets fired over towards catwalk. They're posturing out mid to be now, so as soon as this gets spotted, or as soon as it gets called, the 3 players going to come in from behind of Cat here. This is going to be a quick little flurry towards middle, but looks like North will actually get the better of them here. It shouldn't be too difficult. There's 2 players to deal with on the B bomb site. Well, now it gets a little bit drama-filled.
It does. Kirby's got to back off the window as a result. No bomb plant. They can take that back over the way, but they're going to pursue. Guardian doesn't want to let them get away too easily. And off he goes through the smoke. Who's he catch? Bombs on A, so forget the fact that AZ's at the boxes. He's got the kill on Guardian, low HP. Tag onto Olaf as well. He's on 9. But a single tag, unless there was already previous information suggesting he was low, they won't necessarily know. Does that matter against an AK? Probably not, because he's going to be firing at a rapid rate anyway, and one bullet will do the trick.
Olaf did spam some bullets towards CT spawn there, and then continued to go with that position. He's got so many corners to check. This is very difficult for him to win.
Yeah, Kirby's got this, I think, unless he misses shots. But he does not on the second attempt. And it's 2-0 now for North. They convert quite quickly. Got hairy, though. You were right.
Yeah, as we do have this eco coming in from the side of FaZe Clan, we have a message from our sponsors, GG Bet. Do support your favorite team during StarSeries iLeague CSGO Season 7, and GG Bet will support you with a betting bonus. Activate the StarBet code, make a single type bet, and get $15 on your deposit. That is from the sponsors of this tournament, GG Bet. Remember to gamble responsibly. Going to see some grenades go in towards Upper Dark to make sure that there's no early push, but has either been too early or not deep enough, as they still want to attack this side of the site. Volder's going to line up Olaf like his head. He'll get taken down. On the other side of things, Cadian will get a kill, and this one here seems easy as you like. Just rolling into towards the B bomb site. Bomb should go down, no dramas whatsoever. Easy peasy lemon squeezy.
Gabby holds off the plants, and Cadian holds off middle with a MAC-10. Not exactly the range game to play, but against pistols, no armor, just wants to get some cash monies. Gate will go around the corner, finds Rain hiding inside of it. Brent at CT falls next. 3-0 North. But time for the gun rounds. That was me cocking a shotgun.
No shotguns on the board just yet, but maybe, because Garden hasn't bought, maybe he'll pick one up. Let's see. I'm going to say he's going to go glass cannon AWP. And there it is. So, 2 AWPs, Nico and Guardian, the double AWP setup will be taking place. This is quite a proficient map to use it on. One towards the A bomb site, one towards the B bomb site. Fantastic for holding onto utility, poking and prodding towards middle, even locking down long. Feels like there will be an exchange over here early. Corner smoke is going to come on out, and flashes will follow, so they can team on. So, ooh, Nico needs a shot. The first one jumped across his line of sight. That means that Adren's going to get taken down, and that was a very good way of doing it. Flash will come over, and now Nico's dead. Cadian with a fantastic double entry over towards long.
Solid work, solid play, and North looking like they'll potentially take another round. I say potentially. It's not a foregone conclusion. It's not done yet. They're boosting Elevator on the CT side. That will give them a bit more of a stance in the A site. Meanwhile, back at mid, Valda's held off Reverse Cat. Hasn't gone through to get information to see if there is a rotation, but flashed in now. Checks, sees the shadow. That's enough information to know there's one at mid at least. Pesky shadows. Get rid of them or make them client side. What's your call? Well, we'll find out in a second, Chad, because right now Olaf's got bomb flung forward over the ledge. He can now hold this off. He's got a chance for double, but Cadian fast around the corner. That was a shadow position for Olaf as well. Rain in the cubby behind the door. Guardian baiting him in. Bomb recovered, unfortunately for them, however, and they'll go back over to A this time with it.
Yeah, going long, and Valda's positioned to swing out mid door. So if they want to stay passive and watch the long cross from CT spawn or B hill, then Valda's in a great position to lock this down regardless. The duel between Rain and Valda and mid doors is going to be the key one. When the bomb starts getting planted on the site, Rain's going to make noise. Is he going to expect this? It's going to happen a little bit sooner as Valda will get the better of Rain in that situation, and now it should be no problems planting the bomb. Cadian with that picked up AWP for free after using the MAC-10 to its absolute proficiently. He got more than he bargained for at long by taking down both Adren and Nico. You look at that, what he's done there. He's jumped it out. He's actually the first player out the doors. His whole job is just to open up the line for his rifle players to come through and trade off of him. So for him to get it done with that weapon is huge. And they're continuing to just snowball on top of FaZe here. Guardian's going to get a kill, but I don't think he's going to expect Valda already towards the B site. Well, he did. He used the flash over the top. Valda will still get the better of him, and now 4-0. North are looking very tidy. And FaZe Clan don't seem to have any answers at this stage. They did win the knife. They selected to start on the CT side, so hopefully there was a good reason for them doing so. We want a competitive matchup here. The first game, quite slow. Quite easy to read. There wasn't too many sporadic plays. When they lost players, the information plays weren't really there. People weren't going for anything too crazy. rounds were falling as they should. Now FaZe have been left in round number 5, having to upgrade some pistols. Nothing exciting on the board again. 2 flashes for Nico, a drone with a deagle armor. Obviously the max loss bonus is already in play, so next round will well and truly be a gun round. It's now just about how much damage they can do and if they can get their individuals performing well enough to make North sweat a little bit more than what they've done so far. So, pause is ticking on down. The freeze time has concluded.
Not the most high-res of cameras. Probably doesn't do Katie any favors, but he still looks as beautiful as ever. In the in-game leader role and on the op. See if he can catch anyone on the cross, smoke down. Kind of have to just go for it at that point, fire into it, and hope for the best. He gets a tag, but also doesn't get the information that only one crossed. That's significant, because if you have that information to work with against an eco, you would know that there's going to be a stack toward A. There was. Just as is tradition, and we'll call it.
Look how direct they are. They're
Well,
just straight up cat.
That's insane, because I was going to say you stack long and then you rotate back to CT together collectively to potentially go B. The problem is now they're almost locked in. So the stack doesn't really do much if they've given up the site to 5 players who walk up catwalk. It's, I guess, one way to go against the Pistols. Beat them at their own game because you've got weapons. Gade will do exactly that. Guardian and Nico go down. Olaf. 1 against the world.
It's really strange to see this kind of, not approach from FaZe Clan by any means, but, you know, when you look at their game against Renegades, that was a banger of a match, right? That was back and forth throughout. People were going huge individually. Both teams were making mistakes, but that's how you get the more exciting side of Counter-Strike. Whereas FaZe Clan versus North, North have made a couple of mistakes, but it just seems very clean. They're going through the paces, right? They've done their prep. They've looked at what their defaults are, what their strengths are, the way that they want to approach this game. They're being able to get away with it time and time again. Normally when you go up against a team packed with firepower and packed with individuals who can just focus on their crosshair and mow down heads, that's what makes the fundamentals different, because when you should be in a position to trade for 1 kill, somehow they get 2. But this will be the 4-man alien that we saw be successful yesterday for them. Could this be the start?
Gade is so blind, and somehow it took that long to die because a corner smoke and a flash in the other direction was enough to keep them at bay. Unfortunately, the bay lit ablaze. He goes down. Nico through smoke? It was through CT. He might have just had a glance above it. I'm not quite sure, because he was high up above and might have just seen a silhouette. Gabby, though, Cubby side with a smoke down at the door. This is I think you're right. I think he gets Olaf, no question, but he had the awareness to check it. Credit where it's due to Olaf. He considers all, and this should be FaZe's first round now at 5-on-2. AZ already tagged. Biggest issue with it is they need to keep all 5 alive.
Yes, and I think if you look at those 2 main duels that we just saw, the Kirby one, we thought he might be on for a kill, and Nico taking down Valda, who actually made the right play. That's the awareness of the individuals being at least trained to know what holes, what gaps are open when they do go for that 4-man stack, because Valda, when he gets the call from his teammates that there's so many resources being used towards long, most likely, even if they play 3 players there, most teams still play 2 in the B bomb site. So he's still taking that avenue to isolate any B defenders as quickly as he can. That's the right play. He got very unlucky there to be caught in limbo as the Nico was rotating back in that timing. So good kill by Nico, great kill by Olaf. And then at that point, the round's on over because they have so much territory, they have so much control. They just walked into the AWP of Guardian, and easy as she likes. But the bank is relatively large for that of North. You can see Cadian, who's yet to buy in, still has 12K to his name. So if he wants to buy the AWP, $4,750. Head armor behind that will cost you an extra K, and then the full set of grenades. So you can see he's fully invested right here, right now. 3 AWPs in play, a bunch of AK-47s. Olaf is one of the main members on this FaZe Clan team who actually uses the AUG. They've done their 4-man A lane. Let's see if they go from 3-man B stack, and that appears to be the case early.
Saw 1 that time, but there's always expected that one's going to cross, so same situation, doesn't have that information. That being Cadian, of course. For those of you who are unable to be watching but can listen.
So here's the problem by giving up cat control very early. Normally, it's going to force out your player, who is Nico this time round, playing car and swing between long to use a lot of his utility, but it appears he wants to hold on to it so he can help Adren, and he's just going to hold with the AWP. This allows North to make a lot of decisions. They've basically got mid for free. They've got cat for free. They don't have anybody watching dark right now. And AZ is listening and waiting for long pushes, but he's in transition. So this is curious. It's difficult to play off when you get a mid-round like this and no kills are being offered up. You have no idea that they've stacked B with the 3 players. But they will be going through the mid doors, which looks like it will be a mid-to-be play, so this could be disastrous for North.
Kjaerbye through the double smoke. Pushes off the window. Rain behind the box gets a lineup. Fortunate. Didn't have to transfer anything. The spray was already going the right way. I suppose Rain covers all with the AK in that position. Backed out. Cadian with a little shrug. Fair play. They got us.
But the problem isn't necessarily in this round, right? So it's the 2 rounds in a row that what FaZe have been able to do. Oh, we've gone long with the rush. They have so many members there. Oh, we've gone mid to B. They were ready and raring for that one too. So now the question becomes, do we have to start taking more individual risks? If we're being given that much space and Gade's able to get up catwalk that early, does that mean we do it again and now Gade just continues with the momentum and goes for a kill? And if he does, are they offering heads-up duels that FaZe Clan want to take, right? Because they're happy to take those fights. They want to play heads-up Counter-Strike. So by doing some stacks, by doing some potential reads to dictate the pace, what they've done is maybe force North to play into their game, which is what they want all along. Now, if North stick to their guns and they keep doing their defaulting and they grind away, and do their executes, then yeah, eventually they will win one of them because FaZe will just be stuck in a normal setup and one of those set pieces will work. Is that double?
Yep. Guardian across already. Cadian still no such luck as to find even a chance tag. Nico waiting at the corner with the AWP. 1 of 2 on the CT side is so far rather lonely. No one heading in that direction. They're playing it very passively on the north side. They could be just aware of the fact that Dren is getting closer and closer. Start to rotate Nico off, and they probably should do it. Yeah, they're going to do it now. So he can watch catwalk. 3 players in B. Someone's got to keep an eye on things back toward A. Someone's got to keep an eye on the kids.
AZ would have just heard the flash that's gone into bedroom towards long. So at this point, North know that an information play to clear that part of the map has come out. AZ's playing it more passively, but they're not in no rush. They're happy just to go one zone at a time. Now they've gone for the catwalk control. Molotov's flash is being used. It's going to be curious, very curious to see if they just go for an A-set play because they're getting so much room. It's kind of like when you get banana very early and you just go for a B execute. You know, you get banana within the first 15, 20 seconds of the round, you push them back with basic utility, and then you just go. Adren's going to push again, so that means that FaZe don't have to rotate away from this B bomb site. And there's going to be B hit, so twice in a row they've made the absolute fantastic call. I can't see how North win this unless they hit some absolutely sensational shots.
Molotov between 2 smokes. Where there's smoke, there's flames. Literally. That's an interesting Molotov because not a lot of people play that position anymore, but I suppose you might as well clear it. Get Right famously on the previous version of Dust2 used to play the fence. Olaf's found. Tried to sneak, or rather snuck through the smoke, but was found by AZ, but Guardian and Rain able to work off of that, get the kills in turn. Cadian.
He has to die before the time here, surely.
Yeah, 2 seconds. He will. Oh, just barely. Rain gets him in the back. And now 3 in a row for FaZe as they start to close the distance in this game and potentially the series in doing so. Remember, it is 1-0 for North. They won on train. Overpasses 3rd if required. You can see it in your top left under the radar.
Yeah, I think Cadian's very lucky. He was gifted that death, and I know that seems like a strange thing, but when you're in that position holding on to the AWP, he would have been counting his lucky stars if that was the case. Instead, he's down with a second to spare. Make sure they can get the loss bonus, and it looks like they're going to go for an Xbox smoke, which will either lead them jumping off catwalk and through the mid doors, or just barreling up and using those flashes and nades onto the site. So we can see here it is just going to be the fast A play. Rain over towards the Ku's position. Flashes are going to come out. He's blind. He's going to make the call. Nico in transition with the orb. He's spotted 1 crossing. Rain is still blind. Look how far Kjaerbye is, and thank you very much. The delivery, Amazon are here. They've dropped the package right on the door, thrown it over the fence, smashed all your belongings. And they might even be able to get a plan out of it. This is getting interesting. Almost died in transition, and now the trades continue to go 1 for 1. Volda and Cadian both picked up big guns in the AWP and AK-47s, and Adren and Nico are both stuck towards long. Volda with a huge shot on Adren, and now Nico in a 1-on-2. This was just a pistol upgrade.
Nico, though, does have an AWP. Bomb's been ticking for about 1/3 of its life. About half, actually, according to the graphic on the right side. That's not going to be what matters. Instead, it's Volda's AK. And you're right. This was a pistol upgrade. They get an AWP. They get an AK back. And they win the round 6-3.
If somebody wants to make some content, I would do that round right there that North did and follow the flashes, because you could see how far, even though Kirby didn't get the kill onto Rain there at Goose, but you could see how proficient those flashes were. They were coming in for every single one of the movements he was making. Him first of all popping out, then crossing the position where Nico was watching, and then obviously the last flash which we caught, completely blinding up Rain. So just to look how they did that, because that was very well run, seems very well practiced, very well thought out. Those are the kind of pocket strats that you need to have at this level of Counter-Strike to be able to give yourself a miracle round, to be able to get yourself back on the board. And North now chip their way up to a substantial lead. Double AWPs again from FaZe. They've only gotten rounds of gamble stacks, Matt. They've had, 2 rounds in a row where they had 3 players towards B, and 1 round where they had 4 players over towards long to lock down that rush. So either they're reading it fantastically well, or they're making these calls and they're coming true a bit like a premonition, but it will be a cap play, so we're going to get a little bit more heads-up Counter-Strike this time.
Boost for Nico on the catwalk position to look lower, but Guardian's the one that's got company. Where did that second flash come from? He appeared blinded, but not sure I saw where it landed from. Either way, Guardian got 2 on that one. It looked to be tradable. So AZ now finds himself in a 1 on what was 5, but now 4. Reset potential is there, but it's the new system, so they would actually knock back to 1900.
Yeah, which would allow Volda, Cadian, Kirby, and most likely AZ all to be able to buy. Gade might be able to get a drop from Cadian as well, so any damage that AZ can do is actually really good. He doesn't necessarily have to go for a save in this situation.
Yeah, take it back. Sorry, they would have been 3,400 less 3. So yeah, 19. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I still had the math right. I thought I was off by a round. It still confuses me because the 5+ thing gets in my mind.
So if AZ can get another kill here, he's doing, a fantastic job of just limiting the economy of FaZe. He's going to be able to break them later down the track, and he's even making this convincing. He's giving himself a real shot. He's just dinked up Olaf. Sure, he took some damage back in his own. The nade's going to land. It's not going to finish him off. And 3 seconds left. Oh, my God. How is this happening?
Is he really about to potentially? I don't think he gets it. No, he's 9 HP. He's got to cross mid. He has to. Oh, his crosshair was so close. That was nearly a 1 versus 5 ace from AZ, but it gets shut down in the end. He's made it very expensive, however.
Yes, that is the key right there. Wow. Yeah, Nico seems to be having a bit of a rough series, as you can see right there, and the 2 kills to his name on Dust2 thus far. Need to get the in-game leader, an absolute mad fragger, activated, and he has the only AWP in this round right here as we're getting the lovely highlights. We are underway. You haven't missed anything just yet. It appears like a long pounce is about to be set on out here, so pressure is going to be applied to Adren. Oh, that Molotov was perfectly timed.
Adren sits out on top of the site. Cadian gets near enough to fire a shot. Spotted his shoulder jumping up above the smoke. And watch the car, because naturally you would do so in that position. You pointed out something very, very tantalizing.
Yeah, Rain right now on the flank. This timing could be almost perfect.
I think it will be. I mean, they've got a guy in pit, but the pit is anchoring still. Now, okay, now he's swung. So Cadian is looking at the door, but no, he's not. He's run by that, as this view swiftly shows us. He just wanted to add utility. Op got the
Still
shot.
gets the better.
Rain went down. He actually got to the corner in time, peeked it exactly as he was walking through the door, and then the follow-up. As they walk up the ramp, you can see it. Nico now finds himself alone, smoked off. And the last round being so expensive now really makes it matter, because they don't really have the money to go for this. Olaf still wants to. He's got a kit. He has a flashbang. They don't have a smoke, and he doesn't have a life anymore.
Yeah, that should have been the save call right there. Nico, we said he needed to get some kills. He definitely did. He picked up 2 big frags in that round, but maybe holding onto these guns would have been the better idea. It's hard to see FaZe being able to opt into too much of a buy next round. I thought Adren had done a fantastic job towards long, but the scissor paper rock of the the smoke molly combo in that situation. As soon as it landed, North knew what to do. They put out that Molotov and they went quick as everything. So a direct approach. And well thought out yet again. They understand you. All of their smokes and flashes seem quite perfected. It seems like they've done a lot of work, because they know what they can use as one ways. Everybody seems aware of who needs to do what. Now you can see, look at the left-hand side of your screen, ladies and gentlemen. The only player with money is Nico. Sure, he stayed alive. Sure, he has that AWP. Got 4,200 in the bank. He could drop a gun if he wanted. But realistically, they have to take an eco here. And Nico has to make some magic happen with the big green. Because right now it's 7-4. And as these rounds trickle away, without the fight, without the fury of FaZe, this 2-2 matchup, once again, the winner goes through to the playoff bracket. The loser, they're eliminated from the tournament. This is the last game of Season 7 Swiss here for StarSeries. They're just going to go into B for free. Very thorough, having Gade going first, clearing the way. Nades and flashes being lobbed on out. Molotovs to make sure nobody can push on in while the plant goes down. And Volder has all the information in the world, can hear multiple players towards T spawn. He has fired, gave away his position. He'll get the first. If he can recover here, this will be fantastic, but only gets 2. It's a little bit messy there in the end.
KRB's going to work the underpass position. He's running with a Glock. Glock's going to work. Adren down. There's a gun there, but doesn't want it. North with the bomb already ticking, have won the round at this point in time, but I'm surprised KRB didn't go forward and grab that.
Yeah, I'm not sure why he's sticking with the Glock. Maybe it's...
Like, is that a... No, because this is... I'm looking at your HUD. It's not a HUD issue. That's actually...
No, he just has a Glock.
Yeah. Wow, okay, cool.
I guess maybe they don't need it. They figure they have enough money in the bank and they're still winning rounds regardless, so...
They're definitely going to have money in the bank. I just think if there's a gun there, you grab it.
Yeah. Save yourself a little bit, you know. We all like free things. As long as they're good free things. Here we go. Round number 13, double ops again. FaZe really want to stick with this play. Really want to be stubborn about it. It's not necessarily a bad thing by any means. Cadian towards the long corner. Nico will get the better of him this time round, so that's a really big opening right there. They're going to be able to pick up the AWP. AZ's grabbed it off his teammate's cold dead corpse. Or maybe still a little bit lukewarm considering how quickly that one happened. And with the idea that the 3 players towards long were there, they know the avenue towards mid to B is most likely open, applying pressure there, forcing the rotation, keeping FaZe on their toes. I think the info play this time around is going to be Olof pushing up a dark. He is in front of that lurk smoke that Volder's just thrown as well, so that is very important. Adren, though, he's the one who's going to have to deal with 3 very angry Ts pushing through the long doors. I'm not sure if a flash is going to come, but coming out dry is Gade. He's spotted 2. Adren's just going to take them down. They've lined up perfectly. AZ will eventually get the trade, and Volder's out mid. If he kills Guardian right here,
yep.
Now this one's on.
It might be off just as quickly as it was, though, because Rain's got Volda back. Bomb is dropped as Nico gets the last kill on AZ. He was waiting the whole time with the AWP. So 8 still for North, T side. It's Dust2. 8, 7, 7, 8.
Par for the course, right?
Yeah, 6 of one, half dozen of the other.
Could have 14 ones. You know, you could have any scoreline on this kind of map. It seems like it hasn't really settled in the way that it's been approached by the top teams. Nobody seems to be overly consistent just yet. But regardless, that doesn't change the flow of this game. And North have had a little bit of pressure applied again. So it seems when they've gone quicker, when they've had more of a direct approach, things haven't really worked in their fashion. Nico now, he's pushed up Cat. He gets an opening and yet another round goes for the second. Get taken down, but Rain is there. He can mop up the mess and stabilize the round for FaZe Clan. So I was talking about potentially those stacks in the earlier stages forcing North to play more of a heads-up, quicker game of Counter-Strike. And they were getting away with certain parts of the map, like territory for free earlier. Now FaZe are rotating into them. They're winning those opening duels. And things are getting much more difficult for the Danish side as AZ is going to die to the same position as two of his comrades did last round. Adren, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Uses the same position 2 times in a row. And now Cadian, 1 versus 4, AWP in hand. Round number 6, unless a miracle can happen, will be on the board for FaZe. So, showing some fight right now. I thought it was looking like it was done. It felt very flat. They didn't really feel very inspired. Didn't feel like they had too many avenues in. But they've rectified that. And now we have a game on our hands. We might even be able to make it to that 3rd map. Which, if we get there, will be Overpass.
Yeah.
North banned out Cation Mirage. FaZe banned out Nuke and Inferno.
Yeah, it's very likely we get there. I could absolutely see it as FaZe continue to battle back into this game. Remember, they started down 0-5.
Wonder if Kaden will get more. They just offered himself up.
They did, but Guardian gets him down in the end, and that's what really matters because they don't have any money really left over. No bomb plant in that round.
But we saw what they did when they did that Xbox round, right, where they smoked Xbox and they had all 5 players go up catwalk with those flashes and nades. And they're buying in a very similar fashion, so we might see this again. I'm actually going to fly myself over towards that A bomb site so I can really make the most of this if it happens. Doesn't look like they're going about it in the same way, so maybe cancel that. That was a very good routine that they had earlier. Oh, it does look like it's the same play. Gates first this time round. There's the smokes. Oh, they're throwing jump smokes from mid, so they've really put a lot of homework into this. Jump the player down towards CT spawn this time round.
2 HP in the smoke. Better hope that smoke's got some magic healing powers. It might actually. They've walked by him. Rain could turn around and kill the players in CT if he's swift about it, but if he doesn't, if he stays still for long, he's going to leave his teammates for dead. Thankfully, it works out. He finds Gade. I think he actually found Gade looking away from the flash that was thrown to get him back up the ramp. It was almost a chance find. Cadian still out toward the corner. Bomb planted, pistols in hand. They've won with upgraded pistols before already in this half. This is what sent them on another little streak. Dren, however, has Kiari, and it's Cadian that waits now. Sees Ed, headshot, only against him rather than given. 2 through the wall. He still sits now at 20, but was around 80. Better off for Volta to find 2 with the Sees Ed. Deagle from range. It still has Cadian in this, and you're right, time is the factor. Cadian gets 1 kill, round's over. Nico's going to go down with the bomb. Everyone's dead, but it's 9-6 at half rather than 8-7.
That pocket strat was good for 2 rounds in this half. That is insane. They're able to pull that out twice, make it work twice, and get it done with basically nothing. I thought that it was a much better play this time round from FaZe because they didn't give up guns on the bomb site, unlike last time where the AWP and the M4 picked up and then so much damage was done, but it didn't really matter. They really have worked on their post-plant positions. Yanko is, he's gone. He's out of there, headphones off. He's doing his best Kane impression.
Yeah, he's like, you know what, guys? This is how you win. I have to be more like Kane.
He did play their opening game.
He did. That's right. He played in this event. We weren't. We weren't here.
We were on the way.
We were on the way. And, well, I would have been on the way, but I put it wrong in my Google Calendar. So I was on the way just after that.
Look, sometimes
can't win them all.
Yeah. But we still got here to cast a whole series on that first day. So we did pretty well in that regard. And so are North right now. As this seems like it is more of an extended pause. The headphones are off, so this might take a little bit longer to get things underway. Could be a bathroom break as Cadian is no longer in his seat. Things are getting thrown around. Smiles all around. A good atmosphere at the moment in the North camp, and why not? 3 rounds ahead right now. Map choice of your opponent. You've already picked up yours. Nico, however, he's done the happy look. Not like smiling, like happy the player.
The stoic.
This one.
The fist on the cheek.
Yeah.
I know the one. As long as no one's done the AZ look.
What's the AZ look?
Not the AZ look, sorry, the Apex look, the one that was memed forever.
Oh, yeah. Apex is, that's the thing, you know, we like the players that are quite animate in their displays because it makes it a little bit more interesting to watch, that's for sure. Obviously, if you can stay stone-faced in the eyes of defeat or pressure, or and you can bounce back, then that's pretty cool too.
Gade doing his best. FC Copenhagen.
Can you touch your toes?
I used to be able to go no bend in my back, palms down. Now bend in my back, full extension of my fingers. I can't reach past like 2/3 of the way past my knees to my feet. That's about it.
Yeah, so
it's really bad.
Oh, it's an emergency. It must be something he has ingested coming out the other end.
Let's. Thank you, Chad.
That's how anatomy works, guys.
Could be anything. Could be a nosebleed.
Could be a nosebleed, but it's still coming out the hole that things aren't meant to come out of.
All right. Let's leave that one alone.
Well, actually, yeah, we'll leave it.
Yeah.
I misspoke.
Leave it. No, it's fine. It's fine. It's me learning my limits for a change. Not going to go down the road of those jokes. Well, let's hope everything's fine in just a second. Yanko has to be quiet in this, so he looks back and forth rather contemplatively.
Olaf's gotten up, though, so maybe he's gone to the bathroom as well. Maybe he's going to see if Katie needs any help. What's your What is your worst bathroom experience?
Worst bathroom experience?
Yeah.
I don't know that I've had any recently.
That-
I'm like pet peeve is like bad toilet paper. That's always a bad experience.
That's never fun.
No, and then really uncleanly public ones when you don't have a choice. But like the worst like accidental bathroom experience, if that's what you mean, when I'm actually not in a bathroom but needed one. When I was a kid, there's one that stands out. I was stung by a hornet.
Ouch.
And I was really young. I'm at like single-digit age, maybe 10 or 11.
Okay.
I think younger than that. Got stung, and when I was stung, I peed myself.
Okay, well, you're at an age there where, you get away with that
Kind of
stuff.
excusable.
Yeah. I think, like, for me, it was always the worst when I was a tradesman and you're on the job and it's like a 40-degree day and the portable toilets on site are made of, like, corrugated iron.
Yeah.
And they don't get cleaned very regularly. It's maybe once a week they get cleaned on out. And it's really not a fun experience.
Yeah, that sounds not great at all.
I went on a school excursion 2 years in a row, year 6 and year 7. I don't know why my teacher thought this was a good idea, but took us to it's not the desalination plant. It could be a desalination. It's where all the excrement
Is
and
filtered
wastes.
and
Yes,
yeah, I went to one of those. It's one of the most fouling smelling.
it's not great.
And then
You
like
see all the fish?
oh, dude, they were showing us. They were saying like coming through this pipe is all this. We see cell phones, we see hair, we see this, we see. It's like man. You open that up and look at that going by. I suppose someone
gotta
has to
make
monitor and
sure.
audit it. Like, yeah, I guess auditing feces. But at the end of it, to prove a point, they drink the water that they filter.
No, I remember that too.
I mean,
yeah.
it's clean. It's legit.
No.
That's the whole point of the plant. But, yeah, that's the
Yeah.
reaction of all of us was just like, oh, I'm good after looking at this all day.
Well, hopefully we don't have that reaction in this game because we're back underway. Emergencies have all been stitched up right now. Xbox smoke will come out. A fast cap play does appear to be the case. They'll have Cadian to deal with, and Kyobi's in tow towards CT spawn. Nico's going to come late out long, so big duel here for Cadian. He's going to have a couple players to deal with, and Guardian's utility, of course.
Flash out, Cadian pushed off the angle ever so slightly, but he goes back for more USP at range. Should win out against a Glock, but not when he's being shot at from multiple angles, as he now will be from long. Nico. P2 Fitty was the right call, because he's gotten two. Gate, however, with one back, has given AZ a chance. This is tied back up. In fact, better still, North's one ahead. And AZ's only on 7. Palm.
It's a bad plant.
Yeah, I was going to say problem being the bomb is planted, but you point out that it is a bad plant because there's no vision for Nico. He now needs an ace. He might get one because they're low and lining up, but AZ stays alive and gets the kill.
How much more does Nico have to do in that round, right? Okay, sure. Does his teammates bait for him to come out long and get those kills? Well, the first one, we didn't actually get to see how that went down. So
I think that was a straight duel. I don't think that was any bait. I don't think the aggro was pulled away.
yeah, so he's done the hard work to actually get the room there. Then he's killed Cadian, who gets caught between a rock and a hard place. You give him that one. But everybody else just dying in transition, maybe over-peaking, maybe not understanding the gravitas of the situation. When you know there's people close in city spawn like that, you can't plant open. You have to plant safe. There's no other way to do it. And that just applied a lot more pressure where he had to continue forward, but they're going to continue forward by force buying on in here. Nico's going to have an AK. Rain will have one of his own. Scout for Guardian. Olaf on a CZ75 and Adrenaline will have a Deagle. And those sort of things. There's 2 orcs on the board. Fast out long was Nico. Unable to find success this time round. And that AK-47's on the ground, so they're not going to be able to get that back. That's out of the round for the T's. Voldo's already snatched it on up. Well, it feels like this one is just simmering to an absolute end for FaZe Clan. Doesn't feel like there's a whole lot of fight left in them at this point. North just doing everything right, doing the basics very well, having pocket strats, being well prepared in a lot of situations, coming out on top of heads-up duels, not letting themselves get multi-fragged, and using their utility just to stifle any movements that FaZe Clan want to make. So round after round, things keep looking good for that of North.
Good boost. Rain just barely got there. I think no matter what, they were getting that kill because after Kiebi threw the nade, I presume he would have fallen back and they would have spotted him. But it's a cheeky little boost to use. Doesn't get used a lot, and therefore it can catch people off, as it has done with the single AK and the Scout. They'll get a bomb plant. What's the call? Do you follow this up? Do you try and keep the momentum? Because you don't want to give too much away early on either. They might just let this one slip.
There is a kit, though, on AZ, and he has a smoke as well.
Oh,
So
they're going.
Coming through long. If Guardian can get one of these kills, that might be the save call. That might be all that it needed. because it gets very difficult through CT spawn.
Yeah, they're already backing out of it. So Guardian getting the final straw that broke the camel's back, I guess you could say.
It's amazing a round that realistically, sure, 3 kills have happened, but it's 2 pivotal kills that changed the entire face of that. And now North just wanted to do damage on exits, making sure that the weapons that FaZe did invest in can't be carried through. But Cave might actually get caught off guard. Ooh, never mind. I thought he was a bit greedy trying to jump org.
Interesting thing is that's still significant because the fact that they saved, they're almost on equal terms.
Yeah, level pegging in terms of the buys, right?
Then it could have been much worse.
Yeah, Rain will be able to buy an AK with head armor behind it. Nico looks like he's been dropped an AK. Dren and Olaf, they need to decide what they want to buy. Dren still hasn't bought into anything, and Rain eventually will get the AK up. So I guess they were waiting for the call in terms of what utility they needed. They're able to get enough guns across, so everybody has a rifle of some variety on the side of FaZe. The same can't be said for North. And, well, okay, over towards Long. Voldo wins the duel against the Dren, so he's going to push forward through the smoke. Big kill and a lot of information there. So this is just, because there's no trade potential in that regard. The way that Voldo makes that kill, there's nothing that can be done about it. And he continues forward, he gets a second. How does he get a second? How does he do that? How does he just go for a fight in that regard? They know that he's in that position. They know that he's been up aggressive and already got a kill. And he just grabs a second one like it's nothing.
Kirby wants to go out. He does do damage. You got a dink on Nico. Couldn't get the kill. But a dink is significant when they're down a man. You've got guns on everybody else. It's a job well struck. Easy hanging out. Forgot the hair gel today, but he came to play anyway. We play Counter-Strike, not soccer. We don't need hair gel. Easy. Has to be rather assertive with his AUG, though, and he's already been flamed. He's already been smoked. He's already had flashes thrown his way, and now he's got a kill going back to make up for it. Bully him all you like, but he holds his ground. The Guardian trying to do the same to make his stance a little bit clear inside of the site. Maybe get a bomb plant. That was a pretty desperate call, considering there's 4 there, and that's the result. It's now North winning back the round and taking back the momentum at 11-7.
And that all comes from those 2 kills from Voldo at Long, right? Like,
yeah.
You think about how close that round could have gotten otherwise. And once again, FaZe are going to buy. So they might be doing what we saw NRG do yesterday, where it felt like they bought themselves to death. It was just the force buy syndrome of old that was unsuccessful for them. Nico has an AK again, so he needs to get something done. If they're going to continue to put this in his hands, he needs to find opening kills. He's going to have the duel with Voldo again, and Voldo's Molotov is more than enough to keep him at bay. Smoke will land now. That buys him an extra 18 seconds of solace. The repositioning on the map will come in, so now over towards mid, and that's where Easy's waiting.
Easy is and will be successful. Switching his angle slightly. I think we should have stayed there because, yeah, it was quite clear that Rain was getting closer, and Easy had a nade in his hand at the time that we left. And as a result, gets the kill, stays away from the flames.
Dead.
Yeah, he is. This is a great spot for game. Oh my god! Not only that, it's a scout. It's not even like he hit a body shot with fast reactions on and off. He just scouted Gade in the head, who whiffed catastrophically. Kirby makes up for it to some degree. I wouldn't say entirely, as Cadian goes for a jump shot. He's hit both. Did he catch him through the door on Guardian as well?
He's tagged both of them.
What is with the scouts in this round?
That's such a transition in play right there from Katie, and he's done so much damage that means that Voldo coming up at dark can get these kills with ease. He gets the first, and now Rain stuck in the back of the bomb site. What can he do?
Whoever said scouts weren't cool in high school, I want to wear a uniform and be that good with the weapon. 4 HP for Rain, and a desperate time. He's got one on either side. Voldo walks in. North get around back, even after they lost footing inside of tunnels. Important kills at win. Oh. He has a kid, okay. He let go of it high-fiving, and I was like, if that's 10 seconds, he's actually done himself in right there, but he had a kid, so all is fine.
Crisis averted.
12-7.
Well, now FaZe either concede 13 by going for a save round here or a light upgrade, or they force buy again, because they've been dropping AKs over just to make these rounds. There's that first with the hit, and then through the door. Look at that. He's just absolutely decimated the HP of both those players on the B-bomb site, and FaZe Clan will take it conservatively. So this means they're gifting North potentially the 13th round. They do have a flash, and they do have some P250s to work with, and they're going to go over towards Long. If they can swarm onto Kirby's position here after he's set up in the anchor role, well, nope, he's just throwing nades for Voldo to get in place. So Kirby will drop back, he'll be in swing, and now it's Voldo who's been successful round after round Currently sitting on 18 kills, just under AZ on 19. I think they're going to wait for this Molotov, but he actually wants to fight. Look at this, just pre-spamming the line. Damage done to Nico. This makes it more difficult for them to do a pop flash strategy, but they still want to go for it.
Good first shots behind the door, baited it perfectly. He even follows it up because Volta gets one. Inevitably, he was going to fall in that. But Cadian's able to re-peek. And they're staring at a potential 13th win.
Yeah, that flash actually wasn't shallow enough to get the AWP on the long corner. And with Volta turned into the wall, nobody from North was even blind. Volta just had a little bit of a whiff on that first player coming out, was probably trying to make up for lost ground. So with the AK in the hands of Rain, he has to be an absolute miracle worker here for FaZe because... Never mind, don't worry about the AK, worry about the Deagle of Nico. He's going to punish AZ, getting a little bit naughty over towards the mid doors, and now it's Gade in lower dark who has a chance to shut this down before it gets started again with the aggression. And he's heard everything here. He can make the call, they can drop down, they can cover off. Kirby's already waiting. The smoke is going to make it a little bit more difficult, and Gade's actually going to drop back through into the upper B tunnels. They need to plant safe, and they might actually get away with it, but hey, never mind. Cadian and Kirby making sure they can't even get onto the bomb site. They can't plant that bad boy, get the objective down. They've been finished off, and that was the round number 13 on the board. 7 to FaZe Clan. Remember, this is FaZe's choice. And if you've just joined us, this is the last map, the last series. It's been Swiss group stage the entire time here at StarSeries Season 7. Lots of back and forth matches. So many games of Counter-Strike. FaZe Clan started 2-0 up. North started 0-2 down. And now we're meeting in the 2-2 game where winner takes all the marbles. It's going to be this fast approach out middle. This is what we saw from FaZe against Renegades. They took mid control very, very quickly. This time around, it's going to be Nico pushing out the doors. Rain will worry about Catwalk. Olaf has Dark. Guardian covering mid, and Adrenaline will be listening for long. But differently to what Renegades were doing, is North are on Catwalk. They're very keen to swing on mid if it is a mid-to-be play.
Caddy corner. Cadian sat down at the bottom of the stairs. He's got Kirby there as well, just above on the AUG. Presumably staring at a wall. Sure not to get Flash Guardian. Was right to assume. Wrong with his placement. And how is Cadian alive that long? I'm surprised he goes for the nade. He knows surely he's going to get run down. Took a while to get to him, and they only get one back for it. So the advantage to FaZe. Do they know Volta's up close? If they push through that smoke, Nico, yeah, he's spraying it. And Volta's hoping desperately they're going to go through because there's a timer on that. As the smoke would dissipate, he was left in the open. Nowhere to fall back either because they already won the battle at long. So he just was, unfortunately, caught out. And it looks like, oh, all right, never mind. AZ was going to be.
Just to note, the way that Guardian actually picked back into that fight was from the other angle. So if you're Cadian, you're expecting him to come from Cadian's perspective left to right. But Guardian's gone back the other way. He's gone right to left. I'm not sure how much of a difference that makes, but that micro detail maybe caught him off guard and he wasn't quite expecting, because it looked like that, at least because we were watching Guardian's POV, that he could quite clearly see Cadian, and Cadian didn't even fire in that position.
Yeah, it's I totally get your point on that one. It could have been one of those reactionary things. It could have just,
But that one round is more than enough to force North to have to be humble.
Sit down.
And take a save. They're playing all 5 players over towards this long position. They want to really isolate Adren, who's been punished here before by Volta. Now Flash going to come over. He's blinded up. There is members close enough to help him out here, but Adren's blind as well. Never mind. The cavalry's here. Guardian swung from spawn. This should be mopped up without too many dramas. He's just fighting away with the Glock. He could just hide behind this car if he really wanted to. And the nade going to dunk on Cadian's feet. Blow him to smithereens. And FaZe now only 4 rounds away from tying this up. But they have a lot of work to do. They have a haul ahead of them here, because they have definitely looked like the worst of the 2 squads over these 2 maps thus far. One would obviously assume that, considering they lost the first map and they've been losing the second. But they've been getting outclassed, outmaneuvered, out-strategized, and in a lot of occasions even out-aimed. It's going to be a quicker play towards the upper tunnels from FaZe Clan, with a long fake coming in at the same time. So watch this with Gade.
He's got a big task. being that far forward inside of a tunnel. 3 players about to peek. Nearly got 3. Doesn't even matter because AZ gets the other 2. And Adren at middle pulls back something. A bit of map control. Isolating the player in B and doing so because he can cut off the other 2 from CT. AZ has it all to do. He's changed his angle, back boxes. Guardian had a lineup, tried to go for a stutter step to get it, but again, Adren wants to arrive late. Can't do it, and now with the rotation intact, Guardian may have found the task in order, but hasn't found the bomb site cleanly. He's got problems. He's got time to solve them, and he's going to let time be part of that solving. Backtrack through the tunnels.
I feel like he has to win this round. It's like Guardian needs to pull out one of his classics.
FaZe, if they lose this, could lose the series and then therefore would join MIBR as teams to go out in the group stage.
Yeah, which is strange considering that FaZe have actually been looking good, especially in their game against Renegades. They've also played against ENCE, I believe, and they looked, you know, threatening in a way.
But it's the fact that MIBR and FaZe, Liquid, and Na'Vi, those were the 5. That was the clear-cut top 5, and 2 of them are struggling tremendously.
Yeah, there might be some big...
You could argue 3 with Na'Vi on some days, but that seems to be group stages.
They just start slow. They just like to give us a little bit of an interesting time. But I think the flank here from Cadian might catch Guardian off guard, depending on how quick he gets there and how long the bait. Oh, never mind. Now it becomes possible. Guardian needs the awareness. He might get taken down.
Oh no, he didn't even think of it. He was looking toward Catwalk, expecting they were going to work together. But Cadian, he gets the call right. He'll grab the op and he'll get the defuse. 14 for North. There's another similarity between FaZe and MIBR. There's money on both sides? No, there's not. There's not on the CT side. So do you want to explain this, Chad?
Yeah, so I know that they just won that round, and obviously this hasn't been the money spread. So when we see like a big streak of rounds coming in the new money system, a loss bonus can be built on up. But FaZe, because they had a couple of earlier losses in rounds, they've been getting some plants on the board. They still had a relatively decent bank coming into this one. So from the 2 rounds that they strung together, right, they had bodies staying alive, which has allowed them to go on a buy here. Whereas for North, they just still deal with the regular reset that the old money presents. They're able to get a full rifle round on the board, not all the nades they need, and that's going to apply a lot of pressure over here towards long. So they need to hit their shots. They can't rely on the Molotovs, the nades, the HEs, the smokes to slow them down. It has to be good old lead. They're making the mid-round decisions here of what they want to do. Okay, so they want to boost Cadian up to go play that cap position. They know that he can play the 50 line with the AWP. But right now, FaZe are... Look, they haven't actually taken the information. They still have to clear the car position, and then they have to execute onto the site.
Volta just hanging out at this point in time, waiting. Smoke ready to delay. Any potential retakes? Any potential takes, I should say, from long at this point. Not really a retake, is it? They just want the site.
This is so messy.
It's very messy. Volta had vision but couldn't see anything, if that makes any sense at all. He could spot down long but didn't see anyone there. He gets taken out by Nico, and Kiarby's trying to jump around with an MP7. It's going to be an elevator boost for AZ, and he's... Oh, now he's spotted. I thought he was going to say... Thought that smoke was covering him. I was going to say he was going to get up there and catch off Nico. Instead, in a 3-on-3, Nico goes hunting because he has to. It's a trade, however. It's Guardian and Gade that are removed.
They have to plant. There's 25-ish seconds left on the clock, and again, Cadian's coming through long. This time he has Kirby, so Cadian can continue to run until he dies or gets killed. He's going to get the better of Adren somehow.
Adren had to win that. This is map point, potentially. Nico only has 11 HP. Nico knows they're coming from long. At this point, goes for the headshot lineup. Kiarby gets it instead, and North are looking at 2-0ing FaZe.
This series obviously had the potential to be all 3 maps, 2-0 either way, but if you look at the trajectory of North, the way that they started, right, they lost to NRG in their opening game. They got 16-0'd on the 3rd map of that series. You know, losing 16-0, it's such a demoralizing feeling. They then went on to lose to NIP in a close series 2-1. They beat Panda 2-0, they beat MIBR 2-0. So when you look at those games, when you actually go back and you hash over maybe the little details that separated them from winning and losing against NIP and NRG, could have been those eco rounds, those pivot rounds, those tiny margins, and now they're making up for it for sure because things are looking very good for them in the last round. It's all they need. One more round to get through the playoffs. One more round to join all those names waiting for them. FaZe, it's been the other way. They used Yanko in the opening game. They beat Pain. They beat Vici. They lost to Renegades in a thriller over Series 2-1. They lost to Ents that went all night long. Snakes and ladders, that's for sure. And right now, North are the only ones climbing. FaZe have got a lot of map territory. Nico making sure no dark pushes can come on in. They've got several members over towards long, but they are still scared about this push. And there's a little bit of a move right now to take mid control. They've used utility close mid box. They used it on lower dark, but Nico's pushed forward. He's pushed through the Molotov, and he's had a big opening onto Valda. So this means they can accelerate their push up through long. They just have to deal with Cadian, who's just been flashed off the line. So things are looking good for FaZe in this round.
Nico could get caught off. He is. He's gone. Kirby was already past him, and Cadian spotted him jumping up the Xbox. Bomb will still be planted on the A site, however. FaZe unwilling to go down without a fight. AZ's underneath. Wants to try and work out, wants to try to go along with his teammates, but do so with a timing that matches those at long. Kirby wins against Guardian. Pit's cleared. No longer an op to watch from far. And that creates problems because they'll start to come from all angles and swarm the site. AZ, Kirby finding the kills all onto Adren. He's gone, and so too are FaZe. They're knocked out, and look at Cadian. He's pumped about it. They made playoffs, and they did it by going against a world-class squad, struggling to say the least, but they've made it. They're in.
Absolutely mental bounce back from North. I was just, painting the picture of the gauntlet that they've had to run to get to this point. The two other teams that they had lost to in the earlier stages, NRG and NIP, both qualified earlier today ahead of them in their 2-2 matches. Now North have done the same, and they made it look easy, especially on this Dust2 map. This was the choice of FaZe Clan. This was the choice of the team here with the names that are scary, that are, meant to make everybody quiver in their boots, and they're unable to get it done, and they go out, and they're going to be just as disappointed as what I think MIBR were yesterday. Oh,
Easily as much as that. And MIBR, I think, probably, you definitely look at them still and say there's bigger problems. The record right now, based on their offline performance, is 0-5 in Sao Paulo in front of their home crowds. That's rough. We all know what Brazilian fans are like when there's upsets. Look at 1950 when Uruguay beat them in the World Cup final.
We're going real back.
Look at Felipe Massa when Timo Glock came out of the last corner and Hamilton got him to win the championship. Both times they had to disguise the competitors, and both times the home crowd, was kind of unfairly treating their hometown people. So, to the point where, in fact, the uniform was apparently changed.
Yikes.
For the Brazilian soccer team after that.
Yeah, it's a rough one for FaZe.
So, to do that in Sao Paulo, that's tough for MIBR. But FaZe, not quite on that level, I think, of disappointment, but that's still unacceptable for that team.
Yeah, for sure. And I've got a couple of people standing by who want to let us know what they think. So, Analyst Desk, take it away.
Thank you, Mr. Burchill and Mr. Trivet. That is it. FaZe down. They have been phased out, and good night, sweet prince. They are no longer in contention for getting to the playoffs, but North do move on. The lion's share of what that team has become is now a playoff team.
Very true, and in a pretty convincing manner as well. No doubt they were the better team going into, leaving Train, and also, showing that would be remaining the case on Dust2 as well. That was a very impressive showing. Again, AZ coming out as one of the star performers together with Valde. They've gotten, through the course of this tournament, gotten a steady star duo.
Oh, yeah, no, completely. They were all over the place on Dust2. They pretty much locked down both extremities of the map. Valde was on long, no one could go through. AZ was on B, no one could go through.
Yeah.
So that made life for North really easier. And as we were talking about, reverse sweep for North, right? They started this group stage 0-2. I, myself included, didn't give them much credit to going, any chances of going through. Yeah, that's how it is.
I'll share the shame. I'll share the shame.
And on the other side, they go up against FaZe in that matchup, and when we look at the result, we say, well, FaZe is probably favorite. They've showed great things. Obviously, they lost to Ents and Renegades, but I did not expect North to overpower FaZe the way they did. Sure, tactically, I could see North maybe a step ahead because, they said in the media they have had 2 boot camps. They've been together for quite a bit now. But individually, wow, AZ, Valde, we saw even Cadian jumping left and right with the AWP. Everything was going for North, and I think it is a very logical result.
Why is there such a contrast, though? Because their lows seem very, very low. But today, they showed up in a big way.
It's hard to pinpoint, right? Because, I guess it is a bit of a boring answer if you want to just go very surface level, and that's obviously individual performances, because for, I guess, 9 out of 10 matches in the past for North, you haven't had AZ performing like this. And obviously you can tell what kind of an impact he has as a player when he's playing well. And I mean, this is a happy sight for so many Danes and pretty much anyone who's been following his career since, the 3D Max days, because you know what kind of a player he can be. I mean, Manic, you've played versus him tons of times, right? So you can attest to the fact that he's a terrifying rifler.
Oh, he is, definitely.
So, yeah, no, I think obviously like just having the players there who are meant to be integral parts of your team performing, that's obviously going to do wonders for you. And I think that's what we're seeing on the side of North here. And they still have more to play off, considering throughout this series, I think it's safe to say that I can't think of a single thing Kirby really did.
No.
But again, like, it wasn't needed because you had Valdi, you had AZ playing amazingly well, Kaden and Gade being able to round things out for North too. So again, they have more to play on.
And the whole premise is this, right? We go through train, we get a 16-12 scoreline, we get an 11-4 half, and it never really felt to me that this FaZe team was in this fight today. I mean, it just never really looked from the outside. The numbers will show it too. This was not a good-looking FaZe.
No, it wasn't. I mean, I think Nico on Dust2 did as much as he could. As we can see here, was like second best performer on the map alongside Valde. But the problem was the win conditions for FaZe that we had outlined throughout this event were not here. Which, if you look at just the rating distribution, for example, before that game, Gordon and Nico were really up there. I mean, Rain as well, with like tremendous entry fragging rating, and that just didn't happen. So that's the problem when you basically find some success with people performing to such a high extent, is that if it doesn't happen, then you don't have any security net. It's either they show up or we see what happens here, which is pretty much they fell flat. I wouldn't say that individually like Nico or Gordon were really, really bad, for sure not, but they were not performing to the level that got FaZe here.
Yeah, and it comes back to, I guess, the same issue that we talked about with FaZe before they had Kerrigan, the fact that, well, if their individuals are showing up, then they're going to be great and they're going to be tough to deal with. If not, they have no plan B. And in many ways, it feels like FaZe no longer have a plan B.
Yeah, that was very striking on Dust2. I was actually a bit disappointed because when they played against Ents and Renegades, I felt like they had these moments throughout their T side where they would realize, wait a minute, this is not working. We should probably change our style a little bit, maybe play a little bit slower, take short, see what we do. And here, I felt like they played a very one-dimensional Counter-Strike, pretty much straightforward, trying to bust North's defense right up, and it didn't work. And the game it feels like the game slipped through their hands, but again, all credits deserved to North.
Well, the two top performers for the team, at least from the side of statistics, before we get into any of that, were that of AZ and Nico. And actually, it does appear that we do have an AZ-esque type individual standing by right now. It does seem like we're going to get to hear from the man himself. So let's go ahead and head down to Frankie and see what they've got for us.
It is, of course, AZ from North. And I don't think the question's ever really been more relevant than now. How are you feeling coming back from a terrible start to the tournament to now being in the playoffs?
It feels really great. We were down 0-2 in the group stage and managed to come back to a 3-2 win. So, yeah, we're really happy. Our goal was to qualify to the playoffs, so, yeah.
Not to mention, I think the first time we saw you play Train here in Shanghai, you went down 0-16 to NRG. How did you not lose faith in your skills on that map?
Yeah, Train is one of our best maps. So, yeah, we watched the game and we just saw that we didn't really get a good start. They just steamrolled us through every round. So we knew that we had a really good Train, so we weren't afraid that we lost 16-0. And I think we saw it against NIP the next time where we won pretty convincingly.
Yes, so NIP, it was 12-16, but then Panda was 19-17. So you actually went to overtime. You only just beat Panda on that. And Panda were not the strongest team you faced in this competition, AZ.
No, I think we had a really bad start against Panda. We started off really slow on Train, managed to win in overtime after a comeback. But yeah, we just went on to Dust2 and just steamrolled and did our thing, and yeah.
Let's talk about Dust2 as well, because we were all expecting FaZe to steamroll you on that map, let's face it. And again, I'm using a cliche here, but for once I have to say a team definitely playing their own game. How did you prepare to face FaZe on that map?
We just looked through some preparation real quick, nothing special. Yeah, we just knew that if we hit our shots and play our game, we will beat any team here. So yeah, that's what happened.
And when I think about North, Val is widely reputed to be your star player, but I want to read your stats out. So on Train, you were 24 for 4 assists and 15 deaths, and then on Dust2, you were 23, 3 assists and 17 deaths. So you had the best stats, I believe, potentially on the server, definitely from your own team. Now, what was that like for you stepping up, especially when the pressure was at its highest?
I don't know. I don't really think about it too much. I just play my game. I had a really rough year and maybe 2 years with my ups and downs. But after getting Mifra in, he helped me a lot with my mentality and just being more confident in my game. And I think it helps a lot.
How much do you owe Mifra this success?
I don't know. It's hard to say like exactly how much, but he definitely helped a lot.
And finally, playoffs away, and now we know we should never underestimate North. And I have to say, a lot of the teams here probably did. So how confident are you going into the playoffs?
I think we were pretty confident. This was a huge confidence boost for us. We're just going to continue to do what we do and not change anything, I think. So yeah, just going to play our game.
And if we see you play Ents, will you be playing Train against them?
Probably.
I can't wait to see that one. Thank you so much, AZ. Congratulations. Let's head back to the desk.
Yeah, and if there is a man there that is just so happy and so joyous, you can just feel the smile through his face. There it is. That's a smile from AZ. Mr. A-Strip, rocking 23 frags, 17 deaths, and, well, honestly, a really big focal point, I think, within the North team. And why do you think?
I mean, again, in terms of what we attributed to, hard to say. He was given a lot of praise to the new coach, Mither, coming into the team and helping him in terms of getting his head right in that sense. And I guess that might be the key that unlocked the potential of AZ once again, because he's always been an exceptional player in terms of what kind of potential he's had. We've seen that ever since 2015. It's just been very ebbs and flows ever since he had his really big heyday in Dignitas. It's kind of been a gradual slope downward. Really hard time of getting out of it. And I mean, once a player gets stuck in a rut, it's really tough to get out of. I mean, you're your own worst enemy. You start, not being or not believing in yourself. Taking the same kind of duels that you would have taken otherwise.
It gets a little deeper than that too, because once you find yourself in that rut, it's sort of like, yes, you've had this community pressure too. Yes, you've kind of been painted as a bad player. You've been painted as someone that is essentially non-effective within the game. And, well, the bounce back is possible, but it's always going to be an uphill battle. What was an uphill battle was that of North, who have just triumphed over FaZe. You're late to the party if you just joined us. It's going to be North going on to the playoffs alongside of NIP, NRG, Navi, Ents, Vitality, Renegades, and Fnatic. Now, because the seeding has worked in a way such as this, let's take a look.
Can we just point out immediately the semifinals matchup from the major in Navi versus Ents?
Yeah,
that's going to be an absolutely barn burner of a game. I'm so looking forward to that.
Oh, very much. I'm just thinking for my French baguette friends. I think Energy is not so bad of a matchup to get in the quarterfinal, all things considered. I mean, Energy have showed great things, but if you had to pick and choose in that, playoff tree, why not? Why not? That there's a chance for Vitality. I think Fnatic North is going to be messy but interesting.
Yeah, definitely.
That kind of brawly Counter-Strike with obviously, I think both teams kind of exceeding our expectations going into that tournament. They're going to battle for a spot in semifinal.
Am I wrong for thinking that I would much rather be placed in the upper half of the playoff tree rather than the bottom one?
Yeah, and I'm seeing conflicting versions of it, but I do believe that this is absolutely correct. They're just kind of moved within their own rights, at least at the quarter basis. Nonetheless, we got some banger of a matchup across the board here. I really want to see what the Renegades can do and if they can continue on the path that they're on. Them, alongside of Ents, need to sort of, I guess, build upon that foundation they laid at the major.
It's really tough for Ents, so obviously they go up against we could have very easily been in a world where Ents versus Navi is the actual finals of this tournament. Instead, they have to play each other in the quarterfinals, considering, not everyone can go 3-0 through the group stages and whatnot. So that is obviously going to be very interesting to see. I don't think if Ents go out here to, in a 2-1 loss to Navi that, you can already say like, oh, major run was a fluke, or like this was a fluke, that was a fluke. No, it's still very much an extremely good team. They just happen to have a rough draw early on in the bracket tree. for Renegades, I think they have decent chances of making it through to a potential semifinal series as well. They've been playing excellent CS to get them to this stage, so super excited.
Maniac,
Tell
from all of your stoic sort of the way that you've kind of lassoed in this whole psychological thing, and you've got it all figured out, right? So I want to know what it is. Closing remark for the group stage.
Closing remark for the group stage as a whole.
Yeah.
I'd say, well, disappointing result for MIBR and FaZe for sure. They clearly did not see themselves going out in that group stage situation. Nice story. I guess Vitality making the playoff is a good thing. They had kind of a shaky major, I would say, still making it to the next one, but they were not pleased with that result. North as well is a surprise to me. And just to touch up on Renegades, I would very much like to see a Renegade ends best of 3 because, as a reminder, Renegades lost to Astralis at the major. Yeah. Right. Taking a map off of them 2-1. So we're kind of playing, playing mathematical CS and like where would Renegade have gone in that major?
So you're saying that there's a chance that aliens... No, I'm kidding. None of that. What we are going to do is cut the broadcast short here. It is done. It's dusted.
Yeah.
The group stage is over. We're going to now move on into the playoffs and move all this lovely production equipment over to the arena. Taking a day off. We'll be that Thursday tomorrow, but we will be back on Friday with all of the action here at StarSeries Season 7. I want to thank you for joining us thus far, and we will see you later on down the road. Good night, everyone.